morning. Man, I'm so glad you're here this morning with me. This is a great way to start my day, and I appreciate you being here and being on. So, having said that, I am curious about something. So, I wonder if you have thought a little bit more about, from our talk yesterday, a little bit more about what your blind spots are. But even more important than that, I'd like to know why it matters. Why do you think it matters to you to know what your blind spot is? Tell me about that in your comments, if you would, please. Now, also do a little hashtag of live or a hashtag of replay if you're listening on replay, just to let me know. But I would really be encouraged, I would really be interested in whether you are knowing why, well, for one, what your blind spot is, but then two, why does it matter? Why do I care what my blind spot is, Brian? Well, I'll tell you why you should care. If you are a person that wants to do something with your life, you want to be able to contribute to others. You want to be able to serve your community. You may look at other people and you think, wow, I wish I could go volunteer like that. I wish I had the time to do that. I wish I had the money to do that. Well, those are self-limiting beliefs. Those are blind spots that are keeping you from doing what you say you want to do. So when you say you want to do those things, understand that, those things are great, but they're all attainable. So you can do those things. So in your comments, please, again, to be entered into the raffle for a copy of my book, put in a hashtag of, put in a picture of you winking without me in your timeline of whatever it is, the application you're listening on, and then put in a hashtag of Brian with one eye and a hashtag of winking with Wagner or winking without Wagner. So, having said that, I'm interested to hear about what you what is it that you're thinking about when it comes to your blind spots? Why does it matter? Why do you need to know what your blind spots are? And how can you help? How can you help other people? So I'm going to let you type a little bit, and then I'm going to check our comments and see who we have online, and we will go from there. Rhonda's on. Good morning, Rhonda. Look at the grandkids. Oh, that is an awesome picture. I love it. So yes, good morning. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Well, let's. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to talk a little bit more about blind spots and how important it is for us all to know why we have them. If you look up blind spots and why it's important to know what they are, if you Google that, you're not going to get much. You're going to get a lot of medical information, but you're not going to get much practical information from the perspective that I'm talking about. So what you want to do is, and you can look at it from a different way, as you call a blind spot a cognitive bias. So cognitive bias is what you could think of as a blind spot. Those are the things that you have in your mind, in your brain, that you have a perceived notion of what they are, or what they will do, or what the cause is of having them. If you can get past that cognitive bias and understand that you may not always be 100% correct with that cognitive bias. So think about, let's take an example. A cognitive bias. A cognitive bias is that when I wanted to do something 7 years ago, I wanted to be able to take my life on a different trajectory. I was in information and technology sales, IT sales, and I thought that that was my career. I thought that was where I was going to go for the rest of my life when I started it 16 years prior. Well, I didn't think that there was any other way for me to make money in order to provide for my family and all that stuff. So once I got rid of and saw through that cognitive bias, that was the only way that I could make money was in information technology. I really started to grow a lot, and I started to experience a lot of things that I never thought that I would experience. I'm like, oh my gosh. So this, I did a lot of, you call it self-help or, different investment in me, where I had, a coach, my coach's name was Carrie Oberbrunner. He helped me to unlock what I thought of myself and really make it so I could do something more with my life than just information technology. So it was a really eye-opening uh, no pun intended. I didn't mean the pun there. It was really eye-opening when I started to see him and I started to work with him. I mean, we had just had stuff online. We didn't meet in person that much. There were some meetings we had on Fridays, but those were only an hour, and really it was more about getting to know who I was, because he showed me that there was a whole other world out there that I had no idea about. And he has written a book, and he's written a few books, but one of these books was called The Deeper Path. And in The Deeper Path, you begin to understand your purpose. So that's where I started to really see through my cognitive bias, my blind spots, that I could do something different without a lot of it was a lot of churn, a lot of angst, a lot of going through stuff that I never thought that I'd have to go through, and that's really from a perspective. Did continue to do what I was doing. I did continue to forge through with with this. So I saw through the cognitive bias. It took me a little while. It took me even longer to bring the rest of my family along with me, because I mean, there's things out there that I just needed to work through. And I mean, it's been 9 years now, so a little over 7 since I started. So for the first 2 years after I had surgery, brain surgery, I didn't work too much on this, but now I really have, and it's just been it's been life changing and eye opening as well. So there's my pun. So that's what I went through. So I want to know what you're going through. What is it that and maybe you don't have anything. Maybe you're just, happy to be a grandma or a grandpa or, whatever. But I'm willing to bet you want something more for your life. Not that they're not everything for you, and I'm sure they are. But what is it that you want to do with the rest of your life? There's more to it than just this. You want to be able to do something with it. So I'm here to help you, because I went through the process myself. And now I can help you as well. So what is your cognitive bias? What blind spot do you have? And why is it so important to see through that blind spot? I think we just talked about it. Why it's so important to see through your blind spot? It's because you want to get to your vision. You want to get to what it is you want to do with your life. Again, I don't know any of you, maybe I don't know most of you on this call, but I don't know what you have in mind, what you want to do. But I know that there are cognitive biases, there are blind spots that you have that you need to see through. And once you see through them, then you're going to be able to get to your vision, get towards your vision, see towards your vision. That's what I've been able to do. So my vision is to help people to embrace their own personal blindness to achieve a greater vision for their lives. That's the vision. But taking that one step farther and being able to understand how important it is that there are milestones along the way. You need to hit those milestones. You need to at least understand that there are goals that you have to hit to a certain extent along the way in order to get to your vision. So just continue to think about all those things. And I'm going to look here at some comments and see what all is going on from the audience perspective. But I just want to leave you with that before we leave on it, that knowing what your cognitive bias, knowing what your blind spots are important, because they will help you. If you can see through them, they will help you get to your vision sooner. They will help to get to your end state. That's what vision is. And knowing that vision, you can set goals along the way, those milestones. But you need to see through some of those blind spots before you can do it. So, having said that, what do we have here on comments right now? So, there's Wes. He says good morning, and he is live. Good morning, Wes, my partner in crime. Oh, so glad you're on here today. Oh, and he also commented on what we have going on for the raffle and how you can win a copy of my book, a signed copy of my book, and it's putting in your picture in your timeline, and then the hashtag of Brian with one eye, and a hashtag of Winking with Wagner. So that's important, and they'll also tag me on it. So I appreciate you, Wes. Thank you for keeping us honest. And then who else do we have here? What is this? Willie Mack says, I want to learn what's not taught in life. Deeper path. So that's a great point. So what's not taught in life, I'm interested to know what you mean by that. I want to learn what's not taught in life. He went through all this and he started to see. Yeah, so he started to, oh, good morning, Laura. Awesome, glad to have you on here this morning. But no, Willie, tell me a little bit more about what you mean. That you want to learn what's not taught in life. You want to learn what's taught outside of life. What's taught, I'm not sure what you mean. So if you would, please continue to comment on what you mean by that. And I would love to answer your question if I can. If I can't, we can all answer it together. So good morning, Laura. I'm so glad you're on this morning. And I want to make sure that I recognize you as well. Thank you very much. What a great picture. So having said that, there is a lot to be had for what we all can do with who we are right now in our life, but there's so much more that we can contribute that we may not even realize. So in life, we know we're good at this. So we may have a degree, and my degree is in industrial engineering. So true to what I do, and not really. But my degree's in industrial engineering. I went into jobs and I thought I was going to be doing industrial engineering work, and I thought it was what I was supposed to do in life. But I don't think it was. I don't think it was. After years and years of searching and years of trying to do my best that I could, I realized that my job is more about helping people to be encouragers. Now, I'm an encourager myself, but I love to encourage other people. I love to encourage other people to do what they can do with what they have inside of them. And that's a very important part of who I am. Now, for you, I'm sure there are other things that you can do, and maybe you want to do that you just don't know. Well, I'm here to help you. I'm here to encourage you to do that. I want to know why you're here. What is it that brought you on today in order to allow you now in these calls? We talk a lot about vision alignment, and we talk a lot about blind spots and how we all need to know what we all have our blind spots, and we all need to know that we can see through those blind spots. uh, that was a big aha moment for me back in 2013 when I started with Carrie. And I started to know that there was something else out there. There was something else that I had inside me that I could offer to other people. Yes, 2011 was when my daughter wrote me the letter, and some things take me a while. I'm not, some things just take us all a while. We all need to know and give ourselves permission to simmer on some things. Understand that life doesn't change overnight. Well, for some of us, it does. Back in 2011, when I had brain surgery, yes, life changed overnight. So my life changed for me. I had to accept that life was going to turn out differently than what I planned. Much like when I was a boy, young boy, at the age of 10, I had to realize that I wasn't going to be able to play football. But we need to know, come back. So just come back to me and understand that we need to know that it's okay. It's okay that we don't always have everything figured out. But if we know what we want to do, if we know what our vision is, then we're going to be able to see so much more clearly. Well, I'm going to get to who you're, all the comments that are coming in. So really appreciate you all being on here today. So who else do we have? Ah, oh, no problem. A client call. That's a good kind of call. You never want to apologize for being on a client call, Laura. Who else do we have? Industrial engineering. Did I ever industrialize anything? No, Brian. Actually, I didn't. I tried my best. I was a shipping and receiving manager for a little bit, but it just didn't seem to work. Let's see who else we have here. Willie Mack. Okay, so discovery. Okay, so how do you figure out all this? Figure out your purpose. Figure out your destiny. Figure out your blind spots, all before you have to go through life. But why is it that finally now I'm 53? Why is it that after 53 years, now I know what it is that I'm supposed to be doing? Wouldn't it have been a lot easier for me to know that a lot sooner? Well, sure, it would have been a lot easier, but I would say that these are God's plans. God's plan for me is for me to understand that at the age of 53, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm doing my best to obey God's word. And it's taken me a while to get there. It's taken me a while to really process it and understand it. But I have no doubt that it just takes time. And maybe life had a lot to do with it. I mean, I went through a process. We all go through a process. And the process now is I went from, and I just recently, 9 years ago, I had my coach, Carrie, help me with this. But understand the process is I went from blindness to sight to vision. So I went from blindness to sight to vision. So that process, you can't just come out of the womb. You can't. Some people can, but I didn't come out of the womb with that process in mind, with that process for my life. So just living a life, I wish I could tell you there's an easier way, but unfortunately, not unfortunately, I think life is pretty good. Even though we're in the middle of a pandemic and we're in the middle of a lot of social unrest, and I know that all those things are vitally important to the community. as a whole, the world as a whole. But if we just get back to our purpose and understand that, the life is part of the purpose, you know, the things that are going on right now are understandably important for us all to realize. But at the same time, it makes me even more conscious of what it is that I'm doing with helping people to see their blind spots, helping people to see that, they are good. They're awesome. I mean, everybody's awesome. Not everybody. Most people are awesome. And if we can understand why they're awesome and how they're awesome, and they can share that awesomeness with someone else, that's awesome. How about that? That's awesome. So yes, the process, the situation we're in right now is one where, I know for a fact that I am here for a reason. I'm here to encourage other people. I'm here to not only encourage other people to 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 be encouraged, but I'm encouraging them to encourage other people. So that's what Jess told me. Jess told me when in the letter, she said, "Dad," she said, "if you just have faith and you just believe that God is right there with you through everything, then everything turns out okay in the end. Not you'll always come out of it alive, not always unscathed, but alive." And give me that hope, and this is just his words, and give me that hope, that sense of belief. Well, I take that over a dad with two good eyes any day. She told me, she told me to have faith, to never lose my faith. We all have faith. We all have a spiritual need that grows inside of us. Again, I understand that there are people of multiple religions on this call, and I'm not trying to offend any of you, but my religion, I mean, I believe in God, and but to be this technology that I have set up in front of me, it's off the hook. Never would have imagined that this is what could be done. I know that that's the reason why I'm here. So you all know that there are reasons why you're here. So continue to talk and tell me about why you're here, because I'm loving this. This is absolutely phenomenal. So let's see who else is on. Kim Larson Phillips. Oh my gosh. Hello, Kim. How are you? Ah, well, I'm so glad you joined when you did. You are awesome. Kim has an organization that she's the CEO of, and it's people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and NAFRIN. That's not the right word. Suffering, I believe, is the name of the organization. But she's in Northeast Ohio, and she had an event last year. It was for people with disabilities, and it was phenomenal. So I was lucky enough to be a part of it. So Kim, I appreciate you being on. You are phenomenal. So let's see who else is on. Uh, Laura says, for a long time, I thought I wanted to be a big money person in a bank or nonprofit. Now I have my own bank difference between a self-defined goal and a God-inspired vision and true purpose. That is awesome. So tell me a little bit, if you would, uh, back to you, Laura, if you would, tell me a little bit about your purpose. I'd love to hear about it. I know that when we met, gosh, was probably 6, 7 years ago, maybe 5. We had you were beginning to lean into what it is you were doing at Ohio State, I think, with the retirees and helping them to figure out where to best spend their money. I think I'm not 100% sure of that, so don't give me a hard time if I'm wrong. But I know that you have a heart of gold, and I just absolutely love you. So tell me a little bit about what it is that you're doing now. So let's see, who else do we have? Oh yes, my friend Kim says yes. It was Sifrin. Sorry, I was close. So Sifrin out of Northeast Ohio. Well, thank you, Kim. I appreciate you being on. I appreciate you saying that. There have been so much that I have learned over the years from all the people that I've been so fortunate to meet, and certainly Kim and Laura. All these other people, Brian. I could name all of you that are on the call right now, and there are going to be others that'll join on the replay. But I mean, that's just I'm very, very grateful, very thankful that you've all entrusted in me a great deal, and have just continued to be the source. And you're really the source for all this. So yes, these abilities that I have are God given, but the source of my energy, the source of my passion, the source of my light, it comes from all of you. And I really appreciate you all being on here today. So again, thank you for this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope this has served you well. I hope you'll come back again tomorrow, and we'll continue to have these conversations. So remember to put in and share these videos with other people. I mean, oh my gosh, to have other people come on, that would be great. Again, we're going to be here tomorrow at 10 Eastern, but these videos, share them with as many people as you can. And then, so today is Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday, obviously. Yes, I'm a genius. But Friday is a big day. So we have our call at 10. We have a stroke of genius at 11:30. But then at 2:30, we're going to have someone on for a special episode of Vision Alignment. And she is going to help us to really understand how important it is to not get locked into who you are, what degree you have, and to be able to understand how you want to be able to serve other people and how you can best serve other people. So, and uh, please tune into all those and to share this message with other people. It's phenomenal. So again, I appreciate you all. I love you all. Thank you for so much for joining. And it looks like somebody else has chimed in here a little bit. Willie Mack says that he greatly appreciates me. Thank you very much, Willie. So I'm glad you're on. I'm glad that you are being served well by this call, and hopefully continue to be served by more. So thank you again. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And as always, keep one eye on the road. Bye.